Sophia sat in her car outside Jamal's apartment, her hands gripping the steering wheel. Her heart pounded against her ribs, her body vibrating with adrenaline and fear. The text was clear. The invitation was open, yet hesitation gnawed at her. The door to the building opened, and Jamal stepped out, his presence commanding even in the dim light of the street lamp. His gaze locked onto hers, and just like before, she was powerless against it. He strode toward her, opened the passenger door, and slid in beside her. "You made it," he murmured, his voice deep, smooth. Sophia exhaled, her fingers flexing against the leather of the steering wheel. "I shouldn't be here." "And yet you are." A thick silence settled between them. Jamal reached out, his fingers tracing the line of her jaw, his touch igniting something deep inside her. She closed her eyes, savoring the feeling she had been missing for so long. "The thrill, the hunger, come inside," he whispered. For a moment, time stood still. This was it, the moment that would change everything. One step forward, and there would be no turning back. She opened her eyes, met his gaze, and nodded. As she stepped out of the car and followed him inside, she knew. She had crossed the line, and there was no going back. Sophia knew she should stop. She had told herself this was harmless, that she was in control. But the moment Jamal's fingers brushed against hers as he handed her a weight, the boundaries she had clung to wavered. "Good form," he murmured, his gaze lingering. Her breath hitched. Their proximity crackled with tension, the world narrowing until it was just them. She knew in that moment that she was past the point of turning back. That evening at home, Ethan was working late. The house was quiet, sterile. Sophia sat on the couch, her phone in her hand, staring at a message she hadn't yet sent. "Jamal, you. Still thinking about our session today?" Her fingers hovered over the screen. A simple yes would shatter everything, yet she wanted to type it. She needed to. Her pulse quickened as she finally replied. "Sophia." "Yes." 3 dots appeared instantly. Her stomach twisted in anticipation. "Jamal, come over." She exhaled sharply, the weight of the moment settling over her. She could close the app, pretend this never happened, but she didn't. Instead, she grabbed her keys and slipped out the door. Her heart pounding with every step she took toward the unknown. Sophia told herself she was imagining things. That the subtle glances, the lingering smiles, the way Jamal's voice seemed to have settled deep in her chest, none of it meant anything. And yet the thoughts clung to her, threading through the quiet moments of her day, making the familiar feel foreign at home. Ethan droned on about work, something about a new project, and late nights at the office. Sophia nodded in the right places, her fingers wrapped around a wine glass she barely sipped from. He didn't notice how distant she was, or if he did, he didn't care enough to ask. The next morning, she found herself dressing with more intention. A fitted tank top, leggings that hugged her curves. She hesitated before leaving the house, staring at her reflection, questioning herself. But the curiosity, the hunger for something more, pushed her forward. At the gym, Jamal was already there. His shirt clung to his broad chest, sweat glistening along his biceps. She swallowed hard as their eyes met, and this time, she didn't look away. "Back again," he mused, stepping toward her. She smirked. "Seems that way." Jamal studied her, an unreadable expression on his face. "You like pushing yourself." Sophia's breath hitched. "I like a challenge." He chuckled, the sound dark and knowing. "Good. Let's see what you've got." As she followed him to the weights, her pulse quickened. She knew she was playing with fire, and she wanted to get burned. Sophia stared at her reflection in the dimly lit bathroom mirror, tracing the faint lines of exhaustion beneath her eyes. The cold ceramic sink pressed into her palms as she leaned forward, exhaling heavily. Another night with Ethan had left her feeling hollow, unsatisfied in ways she couldn't quite articulate. He had kissed her forehead, murmured a perfunctory "I love you," and rolled over, leaving her staring at the ceiling, longing for something she had never dared to name. The morning light filtered through the bedroom curtains, casting long streaks of gold over Ethan's sleeping form. His soft, rhythmic breathing was a stark contrast to the tempest swirling inside her. She wasn't unhappy, not exactly, but she wasn't fulfilled either. Her husband was a good man, stable, predictable, kind. But in the silence of their marital routine, something vital had withered inside her. Sighing, she pulled on a loose blouse and jeans, tying her hair into a ponytail before grabbing her gym bag. She had started going more frequently, less for fitness and more for the escape it provided. The drive was a welcome reprieve from the monotony of her life, a place where she could momentarily shed the weight of expectation. The gym was buzzing with life. It's a stark contrast to the lethargy she felt at home. She stepped inside, the scent of sweat and metal filling her senses. The rhythmic clanking of weights creating a strange sort of symphony. As she made her way to the treadmill, she caught sight of him, Jamal. He moved with effortless confidence, his tall, muscular frame commanding attention. His dark skin glistened with perspiration, every movement precise, deliberate. Sophia had noticed him before. How could she not? There was something magnetic about him, an energy that set him apart from the others in the room. But today, for the first time, he noticed her. Their eyes met, a fleeting moment stretching into something heavier. His lips curled into a slow, knowing smile, and an unfamiliar heat curled low in Sophia's stomach. She tore her gaze away, heart pounding against her ribs. It was nothing. A look, a meaningless exchange, and yet it lingered. She tried to focus on her run, but the rhythmic pounding of her feet did little to drown out the racing of her thoughts. What was she doing? She was a married woman. Ethan loved her. She had a good life. But as she stole another glance at Jamal, who was now effortlessly lifting weights with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine, she felt something stir. Deep within her, a longing that terrified her as much as it thrilled her.